Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I don't know if you guys will remember last year, but last year I pretty much posted a video explaining what I did on my little Christmas trip travels, my 3 week long trip. This is not the map, or I couldn't find a map for the place I was at, but this is close enough. Pretty much, I went to Thailand and Vietnam, Cambodia, and all those areas around there, along with those little mini islands in the water air. So, I took 12 flights within 3 weeks, and it was an amazing trip, pretty much. I just wanted to go over the trip again. I know it's not going to be a most exciting video; it's more like a little storytelling video. But yeah, let's just jump right into this. This map is Los Perros City or something like that, but it's a pretty good map, and I will have the download or I guess the link in the description of this video. But as you know, I probably said it in one of my videos in the past, but I am from Arizona. So once we got to the airport, pretty much we just basically checked in our bags and just went past all the security, basic information. This happened 12 times, so don't get just pretend that I'm saying this multiple times during it. And essentially, once we checked our bags, we went to our terminal. This flight that we were going to take was the smaller ones. It was a Southwest flight, and then once we got to the next airport, it was Air Asia. That flight essentially was I think a 13-hour long flight. So I'm fine with sitting on flights for a long time. My family is quite frankly not. I don't know if there's a plane here. That's kind of cool though. There's just like actual boarding for the planes. But yeah, pretty much what we did was we just kind of had to sit down for a long time. Luckily, I had a window seat for most of it. And our first stop was Thailand. Okay, well, this map does not do it justice, but once we got to Thailand, we were going to go to all the temples and all the interesting historical sites. The streets were maybe a fifth of this size. There was bikes everywhere. Like there's probably every one car there'd be like five bikes all around it. There's bikes were just everywhere. There's like an Uber for bikes, so you could just like call someone on a bike and they could just take you wherever you want. But like pretty much people would park their bikes on the sidewalk, and there'd be food stands everywhere. And as an American, that's been grown up in a civilized way, I pretty much had a very small diet. I got some small diet restrictions. My family, my mom and sister became pescatarian after this fucking trip, but I decided to evolve. I pretty much went and decided I'm going to eat anything and everything. I don't like fish that much. Fish is gross to me. But I do like shrimp and all that, so I guess I'm a little bit more open to fish. I want to like more fish, but whatever. And I did not want to try stuff like duck or stuff like that. But after my first week in Thailand, I was kind of at a standstill because I normally eat white meat chicken. There is no white meat chicken here. If you want to get white meat chicken, don't come here. Unless you want a KFC. KFC is also the most darkest meat you will ever see in your life there. But more on that later. Pretty much, it was extremely small streets, very dirty. People were washing their dishes and like clothes and stuff on the sidewalk, and any interesting temple or something like that was super far out. But if you want to go shopping, everything there's like $5. Like everything's super cheap. So if you want to go shopping or get some I guess sketchy surgery done, go there. It's in a very cheap country. Like $1 is like 30 of their dollars. So like you can get a full bag of like chips or like a full meal for like $3. So that's pretty neat. Um, but yeah, once we landed and like explored a bit, we decided we want to go and just see the temples. There is no temples in this map from what I could tell, but they were really cool. I'll have some pictures showing up on the screen, ones without my family or me in him, but it was actually fantastic. It was a culture shock, yes, but fantastic nonetheless. Um, back to like the dietary stuff. My sister liked just beef and white meat and like chicken, and she decided that she's an animal lover. She's a major animal lover, and was pretty much to the point where she just doesn't want to eat meat unless it's like really like grass raised, had a good life, died of old age or anything, and she still probably wouldn't eat the meat then. For me, I realized there's no way I can get my normal stuff. Like all the freaking steak and beef there was like prime grade Wagyu, and Wagyu is not the most well treated animal. Like beef isn't that's not the most well treated animal if it's Wagyu grade. But I kind of just had to evolve, and I just was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go deaf to my environment and just eat whatever's placed in front of me. It was not bad. I tried duck. I tried scallions. Not scallions. Uh, I think it's scallions. It's whatever the fish scallion thing. I tried that. I tried lobster. I tried a lot of different things, a lot of beefs and stuff. And dude, the KFC there scarred me. That I wish I took a picture to show you guys, but the popcorn chicken was all right. It was a little dark. The nuggets, that was all ground beef, like not ground beef, ground chicken. So that was fine. That was pretty good. But the tenders, oh my god, I have never seen such dark meat in my life. Like it was almost straight black, and there was like strings of like slime or something between each like tender. I ripped them apart. I didn't take a bite. I was like, nope, I'm out. I threw that away instantly. I'm not the type to normally throw away food. I'm like the leftover king. But oh my gosh, that was scary. That was traumatizing. This is probably the best we'll get for a temple around here, but it was around this. Look at this doesn't do it justice in the slightest. I tried looking for a Thailand or like Vietnam Cambodia map, but it really did not do much. After our time in Thailand and visiting all the temples, we went to pretty sure it was Vietnam next. There we went to like a bunch of different temples there. It was a lot of more temple finding and stuff like that. Until one day there was a drive we had to do to this temple called the White Temple and the Blue Temple. We were like, "Oh, okay. Well, how long's the drive?" It was 3 hours. I'm I get motion sickness so easily, and later in the trip, I actually got all three different types in one day, and within 24 hours. Like I got like car sickness, I got seasickness, and air sickness. Like I got all of them within 24 hours, which was kind of crazy. That's never happened to me. I mean, I've gotten them separately, not all at the same time. But in Vietnam, we had to drive 3 hours to these two temples, and the temples when we got there were pretty nice. And if you've ever seen the White Temple, I recommend looking it up. I'll have some pictures on and probably a video. Um, but the White Temple was pretty neat looking, and there's a lot of videos out there from what I can tell that are like when you know that there's a final battle or something like that. There's like when you first walk into the White Temple, there's like these statues of like hands, faces, and all those weird like body appendages that are like reaching out from the ground, like they're reaching up from hell or something like that. And it was pretty interesting. Like I liked it a lot. Um, the Blue Temple that was a letdown. Really, it was really a letdown. The Blue Temple was a not really a temple, more of like a theme park in my opinion. Like it wasn't a park, but just a theme attraction. And both of those temples got revamped in like the last like I think 5 to 10 years. So really, it was not really a temple anymore. It's kind of like Theseus's ship. Is it really the temple anymore? I mean, technically both the ship and now and the ship then is Theseus's ship, but they didn't reuse all the parts and they didn't remake it the exact same way it was before. So really, the temples were a lot more attraction focused to make it look a lot more interesting looking. So like it was a bright blue temple that wasn't like that in the past. And technically the white temple wasn't a temple either. That one was also revamped to make it so it looked more appealing to the public, but it was not really a temple to begin with. It was a just a place of interest to a previous ruler or something that they decided to make a building for. So it was really a letdown for that day and a waste of a day. My sister didn't come that day because she was sick, so that kind of sucked. We all got sick at least one time during the trip. My sister only got the least amount. She got like one day. My mom and I got like half the trip, and my dad got the end of the trip. So that kind of sucked. But Vietnam was amazing. We got to go and visit downtown Hanoi. That was really cool. Downtown Hanoi was a lot more cleaner, but more busy than Thailand. It was also the roads were a bit bigger too, so that was pretty nice. We also one of the places we went to, there was this hotel that we went to. It was a nice one. There was ladybugs always on the windows, so that was pretty interesting. But I was able to get my first burger being there. It's like week 2 of me being there, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need a Thai food is killing me. I need something other than this. I need a taste of home." And luckily there was this burger place, or I guess this breakfast place. And it was interesting. Like it I saw we were looking at the signs that my sister and I, cuz like we were just I was born with low blood sugar. So if I don't eat food, I I pretty much start crashing. Like I get a migraine, I get like low blood sugar makes me like get nauseous and sick, and like I start shutting down essentially. That does not mean I'm fat, okay? It does not mean I'm fat. It just means that I eat a lot and have a high metabolism. But don't worry, I work out and all that, so I work it off. I'm 170, so it's fine. I'm not fat. Don't tell me I'm fat. Um, but this restaurant was apparently like heritage from Texas and Miami. So this lady that worked there is the owner of it, and she was from Thailand and then moved to America, Texas, and lived there for a while. She didn't really like how America was run, but her brother did, so her brother stayed in Texas, America. But she moved back here because it was just easier for her family because her family went through into retirement, her mother and father, and all that. But it was an amazing place. I loved it a lot. Their burger was fantastic. One of the best I've ever actually had. Their chicken and waffles, oh my god. It was such a refresher. Like the most refreshed I've felt in a while from being there. I that place was a lifesaver, so if I can find the name of that place again, yeah, I'll link it. But like it was fantastic. Another one of our things in Vietnam was Ha Long Bay. Of course, there's I don't have a map with a bunch of islands, but we were on like a little mini cruise for a solid like 5 days or a week, and we pretty much got to visit a bunch of these little mini islands all around the place. We got my sister and I were able to I will put up a couple pictures, but we were able to like go on paddle boards and kayaks and go around in some of these islands. It was pretty neat. And before you say anything, yes, it was even like the fog that you see, that kind of like fogginess that everywhere. It was so much worse when we were there, like in Thailand, Vietnam, not Cambodia, but it was pretty bad. Like there was maybe one point of the day on the cruise each day that there was like a clearness for a while, but then it went straight to fog again. And it's not fog, it's pollution. But yeah, we were on this little mini cruise and we got to like have a little butler. It was interesting. Like we don't normally we're not that, I mean we're well off, not that well off though. It's kind of strange. But yeah, pretty much we this is actually pretty well made. Wow. Pretty much we have dinner and try new things. This is where I first made my enlightenment into trying every type of food imaginable. Um and yeah, it was pretty nice. We met this one guy, I forgot his name, but pretty much we learned of like what people normally make like a month in a year in Vietnam or Thailand. And it's kind of crazy. Like, you know how like we make in America, we make maybe like working at Chick-fil-A or something, you make like if you work like 30 hours a week, maybe you would make 1,100 bucks. Or if you have like a full-time job, like an hourly rate, you make like 1,400 to maybe 2,000 bucks bi-weekly or monthly, or double that monthly. I don't know. But dude, they make I think 200 bucks a month and a yearly salary of like 1,000 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 28. Like maybe 3,000 bucks a year. It was crazy. They make like 200 bucks a month. So I'm like, "Geez, like how do you live off of that?" And it was sad. Like it was so sad. Like my family, I'm 20. I'm 20. I still live with my family because, I don't see a reason to move out. I'm working a job. I don't have a girlfriend. But it's there's no point in me really moving out just yet. Like it's living is expensive. So, especially in America, but right there like they have like no choice to like separate. Like the guy we met, he is on the boat for like a month and then gets to see his family 2 days a month. And he has a daughter and a son. His son is staying with his grandparents. Well, not his grandparents, but his parents. And his daughter is staying with his mother. And his mother is away from the grandparents, working as a teacher at a school. The kids are separate from each other. The father is separate from the mother and daughter and the grandparents, and the mother is separate from the grandparents as well. So like the brother and sister, they the mother also only gets like maybe 2 days a month to come back as well. So like they are all separate. And that's a very common thing in a lot of Vietnam and Thailand, and that's just kind of sad. Like imagine, I mean, I guess that's normal for a lot of people, but like it's crazy to me. I don't know. It's just crazy. But like we were apparently, like, I guess a lot of the coaches, like the butlers and people there expected my family to be like the rude POSs that are like that don't care about people or just like are mean, and that's apparently a pretty common place there if you have money or something like that. But they were so surprised that we were the nicest family on the boat, and we were the first family to stay a week on that boat for in the past like 10 years or something like that. And we were like so nice, so kind, like people are there were like, "Wow, this is a surprise." Like most people are really mean. But like our server, I need to remember his name, but he was so attentive, so kind, and so like, positive, and so just a good person. We gave him a pretty hefty tip. We gave him like a pretty much full month's salary tip, and he was able to get a good gift for his daughter. He even messaged us on Instagram later saying thank you. You were a blessing. It was so nice. Hopefully, I get to see you again, and I really hope I get to see him again too. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Vietnam, especially on this boat, and this and our boat trip back to land is was kind of rough. It was a 40-minute, I guess, boat ride. That's where I got one of my seasicknesses from. After we got that seasickness, pretty much we went back to shore and we were in Hanoi again. It was, I like, we went in the small town, not a small town, it was pretty busy. And we were able to go, and my mom and dad went on a tour. My sister and I decided to stay back, and I wish I went on that tour. I really did, but I did not want my sister get to explore the city on her own because that'd be kind of dangerous. Even though it's not really that dangerous, I just felt I'm the younger sibling, but yeah, I still want to make sure my sister's safe. Um, but yeah, it was fun. My sister and I walked around the town. We went shopping. I didn't get anything, but we went and tried some of the food, some of the coffees there because it's apparently known for like tea and coffee, and it was pretty neat. I liked it a lot. I wish I went with them because they went to like this train market and some other stuff, and they went on this little this thing called a tuk tuk. So I don't know if you know what they are, but like they are a person who rides a bike with a carriage in the back, and people just sit in the carriage and walk, and like just take a ride around the town. My mom and dad, they got a like 90-year-old man who had to get off his bike and walk and push the bike multiple times. It felt severely, like supremely humiliating, is what they said, but like he tried his best. It was kind of funny to hear about. But after like our day or two in Hanoi again, we went to Cambodia. So let's go to like an area that seems like that on this map if I can find one. This doesn't really do it justice, but it was kind of a smaller town. I don't know if you heard anything, but we went to Angkor Lot. It's a town near the border of Cambodia, and I don't know if you know anything about Cambodia right now, but there is a war that's happening in near Angkor Lot or something like that. It got bombed recently, so my family was heavily considering canceling that part of the trip because we're like, it's gonna be very war torn. It's gonna be very scary, kind of a little sketchy as well. I don't know about this, but once we landed, we got a the best tour guide. By the way, we went to Bangkok as well. That was in Thailand. I just kind of forgot to say that. We had a lady boy be our tour guide, and it was pretty cool. She was nice. Her name was I don't know if it's a her or him. I know it's a guy that is a lady boy, so it's probably a her. I don't know, but I also forgot her name. Wait, geez, I suck with names. But she was nice. She was very fast. Like she walked very fast. But this guy on in Angkor Lot was the best tour guide by far. And the first tour guide we had in Thailand was an old man, and he was so slow, the most slowest guy I've ever met. And he would talk. He would like explain like an hour long conversation about every single gold store there is, and there's like a gold store on every single corner of the street. So he would like stop and start talking about gold every single second he got. So it got like really annoying. The second tour guide, lady boy, she was a really fast walker and didn't really explain that much of things. So we didn't really know. We had to ask her every time like we wanted to see something. So it was a little, it was like two extremes. And then this guy from Cambodia, not, yeah, Cambodia, Angkor Lot. He was a funny dude. He was like maybe 40, no, 30. Yeah, he was like 30, but he did not look 30. He looked like he was in his like early 20s, and he cracked jokes. He was a normal paced walker. He like explained a lot but didn't over explain. Like like it was like good happy medium. And it was a very calm and relaxing place. Like it was everyone knew English there. Like everyone. It was like a mostly like French known place, but then um, people from America started traveling a lot more, considering on how strong our dollar is there. And we were able to do a lot of cool stuff. We saw a play there. It was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting, and um, pretty much it was an amazing e- like experience. We got to see a lot of these cool temples. I got some cool outfits and stuff here as well, and it was neat. Like we actually got to see like the forest and some of the like the older temples. I'll put up some pictures of these really cool trees I saw with the temples, and it was an amazing experience. I heavily recommend going to Cambodia. And there's this one hotel we went to that I put a review into. But they want travelers there. They want like tourists, and it might seem kind of small, but there's a lot of history and a lot of cool things you can do there, and it's very welcoming to tourists, so I heavily recommend it. But yeah, we after that we were going to the day that I got all three motion sicknesses. We drove to this one temple up in the mountains, and it was rough. It was bumpy. It was bad, but it was a cool temple. And once we drove back, I had to like close my eyes and fall asleep on the way back because I was gonna throw up. But I was able to survive. Next, we went on a flight. The flight was so scary. It was so bumpy. We were going back to I think Thailand. And it was so bumpy. My mom was sitting next to me. We were trying to scare each other, but I realized the more my brain started thinking, the more my you know how like torture techniques work, where it's like half of the torture is the imagination. I pretty much just did that to myself and kept on like thinking of bad things that were gonna happen on the flight, and that made me get motion sickness near the end. I was able to survive, of course, and then we on our way to the our last destination. We were gonna spend like I think 3 or 4 days on a secluded island. That island was so expensive. It wasn't just my family. It was like a hotel that was on a secluded island. Um, but it was like America prices on that island. Everything was. So it was nice. It was fun, but I don't recommend it. Um, it was relaxing end to our trip. We got to like just chill on the beach, go in like the sauna, chill next to the pool, go kayaking on the near the islands because it was around like those Halong Bay Islands as well. But not it wasn't Halong Bay, it was a different like bigger island area. But it was pretty neat. I liked it a lot. It was definitely the most expensive part of the trip. But after that, we got on our flights home and pretty much just had a great trip. We did stay for 3 weeks, and last year we stayed for 3 weeks at a different place, and we all agreed to not do that again. 2 weeks in this trip, we also realized that we did not want to stay for another week, but we were like, we already paid for it, so we have to go. We all came to the agreement last year not to stay for 3 weeks again because it was just too much. But we did it again. I warned them this. I warned them. I was like, yeah, no, we're not gonna want to be here for another week. But we did, and it was as we expected. We were kind of done after the first 2 weeks, but we kind of had to stay. So at least it was a nice conclusion. Cambodia was great, and the island was nice and relaxing. So yeah, that was my trip to Thailand. This is a very very rambly video. I don't know if I'm gonna get that many views from it, but thank you guys for watching. I will continue my regular posting every other week with my both YouTube channels, Sword Fighting and um, what's it called? Sword Fighting and Minecraft. I'm literally playing Minecraft right now. How did I forget the name? Sword Fighting and Minecraft. I'm going to continue my posting every other week. I am going to post a video of sword fighting to my other channel as well, so if you want to watch that, that'd be great. And yeah, I guess I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye. Sorry I didn't include the pictures. For some reason, my editing software didn't let me.